Judy, how is support, alimony support, determined in Connecticut?
When you enter into a marriage relationship, what arises is a duty of support for your spouse. And in a divorce proceeding, alimony is viewed as providing a continuation of that obligation of support. Now, in the calculation, let me start that again. When you enter into a marital relationship, when you enter into a marriage relationship, an obligation to support the other spouse arises. So that when you are, when you marry, how do I say that? Each spouse is viewed, okay. When you marry, each spouse is viewed to owe an obligation of support to the other spouse. And when you divorce, alimony, or sometimes called maintenance, is viewed as the obligation to continue that obligation of support for your spouse. Now, there is no formula for determining the amount or duration for alimony in Connecticut. It is an analysis made by a court. Remember, that's only if a court has that determination to be made. When you enter into a marital relationship, an obligation to support your spouse arises. And when you divorce, alimony is a continuation of that obligation of support. Importantly, in the state of Connecticut, there is no specific formula to determine the duration of alimony or the amount of alimony, but rather, if you don't have an agreement with your spouse as to what the alimony obligation is, if at all, it will go to a court, a judge, to decide. And under the law of Connecticut, there are statutory factors that a court will consider and weigh these factors. Not all equally, but the judge must look at them. Certainly, if there is a trial of your case and not eventually settled, then everything comes out. So it will go far beyond the factors that I'll recite for you. And some of those factors are these. A court will look at how long you're married. What is your age? What is your health? What are the causes for the breakdown of the marriage, otherwise known as fault? A judge will look at how property was acquired. What property do you own in your individual name? Or do you have entitlements to income? As far as income, the court will look at your education, your skills, vocation, training, what your earnings are, what your earning capacity is. With respect to alimony as well, a judge will look at the property distribution agreement or property order that the court will fashion to determine alimony. So you see, there are many factors, and a thorough inquiry must be made by your attorney representing you before the court so that your case is presented properly to the court to get the most beneficial award that you can.